The MCU wouldn't be nearly as captivating without its villains. Just as essential as the heroes, these antagonists raise the stakes and keep audiences hooked. Over the years, the MCU has introduced everything from rogue AI to gods and cosmic entities, expanding the limits of what a villain can be while keeping the conflict gripping and, sometimes, grounded. Let's explore some of the most powerful MCU villains, from the cunning to the godlike, ranked by their threat level, impact, and raw strength.
Don't worry. We only have to talk about one.
Zemo is the master of psychological warfare. He broke the Avengers without lifting a finger during Captain America: Civil War. His greatest weapon is his intellect, combined with a deep understanding of how heroes tick and how to dismantle them. While he briefly helped the team in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Zemo's hatred for superhumans remains. He could easily switch sides or orchestrate another collapse from within.
Congressman Barnes, wow. You know, I never really thought you'd have a promising political career, but less than half a term. Yikes.
Val might not have any superpowers, but her talent for manipulation totally puts her up there with the MCU's sneakiest villains. She works behind the scenes, quietly putting together the Thunderbolts for her own reasons. What makes her especially dangerous is how she pushes powerful, emotionally scarred people into world-level battles without ever getting her own hands dirty. On top of that, she's a great shot and seriously knows how to fight. Thaddeus Ross, first played by William Hurt and later by Harrison Ford, is based on a comic book character and starts out as a high-ranking military guy and Betty Ross's complicated dad. He kicks off a chase for Bruce Banner and ends up accidentally helping create the Abomination. After leaving the military, he becomes Secretary of State and brings in the Sokovia Accords, which ends up splitting up the Avengers. He gets snapped in the blip, comes back, and eventually gets elected president, but things get rocky between him and Sam Wilson. Then, after taking gamma pills from Samuel Stearns, Ross becomes the Red Hulk, wrecks the White House, and ends up in prison at the Raft. Marvel editor Mark Paniccia called Red Hulk a totally unleashed and smart fighter, while writer Jeff Loeb described him as the kind of Hulk we've never seen before. He's got brains, a brutal edge, and even packs weapons. Basically, he's everything the classic Green Hulk isn't, except they have the same powers, same size, and similar looks, just, you know, red. Red Hulk's abilities are almost identical to Hulk's, but with a few extra tricks. He can shoot heat from his eyes when he's not raging out and can boost his power by absorbing energy, whether it's gamma radiation or even the power cosmic. In one storyline, he even used that heat to burn a techno-organic virus out of his body. Ross became Red Hulk through a mix of gamma radiation and cosmic rays. The same tech that once turned Hulk back into Bruce Banner helped create him. Unlike Hulk, Red Hulk doesn't turn human when knocked out, and his blood glows yellow, even when he's back in human form. Another big difference? The madder Red Hulk gets, the hotter his body gets. That heat can get so intense it melts sand into glass, but if it builds up too much, it actually weakens him since he can't cool down properly. Also, he really doesn't vibe well with negative zone energy. It messes him up bad.
You had to ask.
This is the best I can do. This is exactly what I wanted. All of you against all of me.
Avengers. Age of Ultron gives us one of the scariest villains in the MCU, yet Ultron still ranks lower than you might expect. Created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner as a peacekeeping AI, basically a global defense system, Ultron was supposed to protect Earth from alien threats, but the moment he came online, he decided that true peace meant wiping out humanity. Thanks to his digital nature, Ultron could keep coming back as long as even one of his robot minions was still functioning. And those drones? Each one was nearly on par with an Iron Man suit in terms of firepower and durability. He came disturbingly close to pulling off global extinction by turning a city into a giant meteor, and though his actions led to major consequences like the Sokovia Accords, Ultron was ultimately taken down by physical force. In the end, he underestimated the Avengers and paid the price. The Sentry gets his powers from a unique version of the super soldier serum that basically lets his molecules stay one step ahead of the present timeline. That twist makes him incredibly hard to pin down, literally and figuratively. His full power set isn't totally clear, but what we do know is wild. He has insane strength, durability, super speed, and enhanced senses. He can absorb and release massive energy blasts, powerful enough to hurt someone like the Hulk. He's even teleported in a burst of blinding light. But here's the catch. Sentry's got a dark side side called the Void, which is like the evil reflection of all the good he does. Every heroic act Sentry pulls off seems to trigger a counterattack from the Void. This dark entity has powers. Sentry doesn't, like summoning massive storms and creepy tendrils that mess with people's minds, forcing them to relive their past or glimpse their future. It's a constant push and pull between light and darkness within the same person. Scarlet Witch has one of the wildest arcs in the MCU, shifting between hero and villain multiple times before becoming a full-blown reality-warping powerhouse, born with chaos magic that was later supercharged by an Infinity Stone. Wanda Maximoff evolves from having telekinesis and mind control abilities to being able to alter reality itself. By the time we see her in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, she's basically unstoppable, tearing through the Illuminati and chasing down America Chavez with terrifying ease. She's so powerful that facing her head-on isn't really an option. In the end, it's only by appealing to her humanity that Strange and America managed to stop her, leading Wanda to destroy Mount Wundagora and seemingly take her own life. Without that emotional breakthrough, she could have easily reshaped the multiverse to her will. Gore had all the makings of a top-tier MCU villain, but many fans felt he was underused in Thor, Love, and Thunder. Played by Christian Bale, Gore starts out as a desperate alien who loses his daughter on a dying planet. After realizing the gods he prayed to don't care, he bonds with the all-black Necrosword, a cursed weapon that gives him insane power and control over shadows, and sets out to wipe out every god he can find. With the sword's dark power, Gore slaughters gods across the galaxy and almost manages to erase all of them by reaching eternity, a being that can grant any wish. But in the end, Thor talks him down and convinces him to wish for his daughter's return instead. Gore dies, but not before nearly bringing down entire godly pantheons with his brutal crusade.
But the big guy needs to eat and the rent is due.
Cassandra Nova exists outside normal time and runs the show in the TVA's Void, a place where everything and everyone pruned by the TVA ends up, usually to get eaten by the massive beast Alioth. But Cassandra isn't just surviving there, she's thriving, ruling the place like a warlord thanks to her freakishly strong powers. She's a twisted variant of Charles Xavier's twin sister, and her psychic abilities might even outmatch his. She can tear someone apart with telekinesis in seconds, tank regular attacks with raw psychic strength, and mess with minds in seriously disturbing ways. On top of that, she can heal, phase through stuff, and teleport at will. She's an absolute powerhouse until someone shows up wearing a helmet that blocks psychic powers, like Magneto's or Juggernaut's. That's her one big weakness, but otherwise, she's a terrifying Omega-level mutant who's nearly unstoppable in her own turf. This purple guy is hands down one of the most terrifying villains the MCU has ever seen. Hailing from Titan, he's convinced that wiping out half the universe is the only way to save it from overpopulation and collapse. Even without any Infinity Stones, Thanos is a beast. He beats the Hulk in a one-on-one fight like it's nothing. Add in his army of loyal followers, including the Black Order and hordes of Outriders, and he's already a galactic-level threat. Once he collects all 6 Infinity Stones, though, it's game over. He actually wins, snapping away half of all life with just a thought. It takes time travel to even undo what he did, and even then, his younger self nearly pulls off an even worse version of his plan. That said, in the grander multiverse, his threat level drops a bit, especially when the TVA treats Infinity Stones like junk drawer paperweights. And let's not forget, with just 2 stones, he was almost taken down by the combined effort of the Guardians, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Man.
The planet Earth was chosen to host the Celestial Tiamat.
When it comes to sheer cosmic power, Arishem the Judge is on a whole different level. He's basically the top Celestial in the MCU, the ancient being who helped kickstart the universe itself. This guy created the first sun, played a role in forming life as we know it, and even had a hand in creating the Deviants, Eternals, and other Celestials. So yeah, he's kind of a big deal. The Eternals had no realistic shot at beating Arishem in a fight. All they could do was stop the emergence from happening on Earth, which would have brought Tiamut into existence but also destroyed the planet. Arishem could have wiped Earth Earth out instantly if he wanted to, but instead, he chose to hold off and hear from Cersei, Kingo, and Phastos about why humanity might be worth saving. When you're dealing with a godlike being who makes universal laws and could erase worlds without blinking, it's hard to find a bigger threat. Well, that's it for today. Who do you think is the most powerful villain in the MCU, and could anyone actually stop the Void? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more epic Marvel content.